Hello everyone. So in this section we will discuss about a basic introduction to hash table. In our previous video we discussed about what is hashing and what are hash functions. So in this video we will look into a data structure which is hash table, and we will see the concepts which we discussed in our previous videos like hashing and hash function, and we will see how they are used to implement a hash table. So before we start, in case if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe to my channel so that you never miss any update. In one of our previous video, we discussed that array can be used to store, retrieve and remove an information with a time complexity of O of 1 based on indexes, but we also saw that array had a limitation while implementing the direct addressing strategy via indexes. So we introduced the concept of hashing. Now based on those concepts, when we implement a hash table, we basically take a generalized form of an array. So internally the data structure for implementing hash table is pretty much an array, but it is used with the concepts of hashing and hash function. Now what do we do with the hash table is, the data is stored in the form of key value pair. So in our previous video we discussed that how a key is passed to a hash function and an index is returned. So based on the index we store this key value pair. So basically in a hash table we simply put the data in form of key value pair, where we take the key, we pass it to the hash function, and hash function returns as an index. So this index is nothing but an index of an array where we simply store our key value pair. So this key can be a huge key, but our hash function takes that key and returns us back a fixed and a small value which is nothing but an index of our array. Now what we do is, we take that index and we store the key value pair in the array, and the primary operations which are supported by hash table are: first is the put, which takes in a key and a value. Now what does this operation does is, it adds the key value pair against a unique key. So here our key is unique, and if we try to add a different value with the same key, then that value gets updated and the older value will be removed. So here the key is unique because this key usually goes into this hash function, and based on the hash function calculation our index is returned, and on that index this key value pair is stored. Similarly, after storing, when we do get, then the value is returned for that provided key. So here this key goes into the hash function, our index is returned, and based on this index, whatever the value is stored in the array, that value is returned for that provided key. And the third operation is remove, where we pass the key. So what it does is, it removes the key value pair from the hash table. So these are the three primary operations supported by hash table. And here if you see, all these three operations use a hash function, and we will discuss all these three operations in greater detail in our upcoming lectures. These all three operations internally use the hash function, which takes in a key, returns as an index, and based on the index, put, get and remove operations are performed. So all these three operations are pretty much fast. The average running time of all this operation is O of 1. And if you see, in our Java collection framework, we have a hashmap class which is pretty much same as the hash table class. So if we want to deal with key value pair, then we simply use hashmap class, and if we want to deal with only keys, then we use hash set. So here if we want to store any data in form of key value pair, then we simply take the help of hashmap class in Java, which is nothing but an hash table. But if you only want to deal with the keys and not with the value, then we simply use the hash set class. And the idea behind both the classes to store the keys remains the same, which we discussed here. So friend, let's see a simple hash table where we have provided with the hash function as key mod size, and size is nothing but the length of this array. So this array is the internal data structure to implement a hash table. So we simply call it a hash table only. Now let's say if we want to store these key value pairs in this simple hash table. So what we do is, let's say key is 5 and the value is John. So when we try to store this key value pair in a simple hash table, what we do is we take the key, we pass it to hash function, and this hash function returns as an index. So we simply go to that index and store this key value pair. So for example, 5 mod 10. So when we divide 5 by 10, we get remainder as 5. So this is our index, which is being returned by the hash function. So here we simply go to the 5th index and we simply store key value pair. So this array can be taken up as array of key value pairs, which can be our own type object which takes key and a value. Now if you want to store 1, Tom, so 1 divided by 10 gives remainder as 1. So here we go to the first index and we store 1, Tom. If we want to store 10, James, we do 10 mod 10. So we get remainder as 0. So we go to the 0th index and store 10, James there. For this key value pair, we get 6 as the remainder. So we go to the 6th index and we store 26, Tina. For this key value pair, so if we divide 99 by 10, we get remainder as 9. So we go to the 9th index and we store 99, Sana there. Now if we take the last value, 105 mod 10 will give a remainder as 5. So friend, this is a simple hash table. So now here you can see, if we try to go to 5th index, here you can see that we already have this value 5, John. Now the problem is, what should we do with this key value pair? So whenever this kind of situation comes where we are simply storing key value pair in a particular index and we already encounter a key value pair there, this concept in hash table is called as collision. Because now there is a collision between these two values, that what should we do? So friends, here you can see that these kind of situation usually arrives when we implement a hash table, because here you can see the size of this hash table is only 10 and the keys which we are trying to store is more than 10. So usually after storing few values, a hash table simply encounters this collision frequently. So this is a simple hash table. So in our future video we will see that how this hash table can be implemented to resolve these collisions. And also friends, there are strategies to resolve these collisions which we'll discuss in our upcoming videos. So friends, I hope you find this information useful. And in case if you find this information useful, then please like this video. And if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe to my channel so that you never miss any update. Thanks, have a nice day.